You know, there's no time to waste when your season comes to a close in college hockey. You got to decide, are you coming back? Are you transferring? Or are you going to sign with the team that drafted you? Here you see some decisions already made. We'll introduce you to Frank Nazar's debut at the Blackhawks in just a second, but you see some other big-time names, including some who have decided to return to school. I was a bit surprised to see Jimmy Snuggerud back to Minneapolis. Trey Augustine had a phenomenal freshman year for the Spartans. He's coming back. Charlie Stramel is coming back, but he's not going to Madison. He's returning to school and transferring to Michigan State, as we discussed. Spartans now a destination
Wild West.
Here we go with Frankie Nazar's debut. Signs with the Blackhawks, get put in the lineup, and on his very first shot, Cappy, this is what dreams are made of.
I mean, this is awesome. And you know what? It's something that the Chicago Blackhawks fans need desperately. Last home game of the year, a little hope. You know, yes, they have Connor Bedard, but another young player showing a little,
yes,
showmanship early on. They needed something like that. So good for him and good for their organization.
Well, Frankie joined us when we were in St. Paul, came up to our set location.
The beard is gone now.
We had a great chat. Yeah, the playoff beard has been shaved off. When you look at his makeup, his skill set, his size, where he fits with the team that you know very well in the Blackhawks, what do you think that role will be?
Yeah, I mean, he places right now right behind Connor Bedard as like their second line center. And they have a lot of room. They have veteran guys, but nobody that they deem as their future. So I think he's going to get all the opportunity. He's going to play in their last two games this year, and then we'll see next year. Obviously, spend the summer, have a good offseason, but I think they'll go in with it's his spot to lose come next year. He's going to be a 20-year-old rookie in the NHL, and yeah, he had a great first game, but I think for those guys, it starts coming when you're playing an 82 full game schedule. You know, the glitz and glamour of your first time coming isn't there, but I think he's a guy. He's got all the talent. His vision on the ice, his speed, even some of his teammates yesterday, new teammates were like, wow, this guy's fast. You bring speed, you put teams on their heels. Those are all positive things that he brings.
And you start to look at how deep and talented this Michigan roster is. We got word just on Monday morning that Tyler Duke signed with the Lightning. Obviously, the Lightning don't really need any help right now.
Right.
So he'll probably start in Syracuse, maybe, AHL, and then
his contract will start the
there.
Next year.
Correct.
That's the difference between him and Frank. Frank wanted his contract to start now, so his 3-year deal essentially is a 2-year deal after this.
Okay.
For Dylan's will start the start of next season.
Understand.
A little different.
And it changes the way that the salary caps work and all the leverage hits.
And when they get their next contract,
they're trying to work it their best way.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, and they're a playoff team. The Blackhawks clearly are not a playoff team.
Right.
So they're in more hurry. With Duke, they're not as much hurry to get him up to the NHL.
So another Michigan guy, Gavin Brinley, highly sought after guy. Listen, Rutger McGroarty's out there as well. We understand his decision is coming very soon. What do you think of Brinley? I mean, to me, he's a really fascinating prospect because of his ability to do, especially offensively, what he does. But what would an NHL team want if he were to decide to go back to school? What would the Blue Jackets want to see?
I mean, for me, he's 19 until October, which means if he came back and played another year, this time next year, he'd be still 20, halfway to 21 still only. He's not a huge guy. He's got room to fill out his body. He's an energetic player. He plays a physical game for how small he is. I just think, look, I'm never going to tell a guy not to go pro. I just think another year wouldn't hurt. Columbus Blue Jackets, he's a second-round pick, which I think he's going to
never hurts.
No, it doesn't. And obviously, it's family decisions, all that. There's a lot of different things that go into it. I just think, selfishly, I'd love to see him play another year in the Big Ten. Also, Seamus Casey is one of his best friends, and I feel like those two guys are almost like, do we come back? Let's play again, because Michigan would be really good if those two came back. They look at a national title. So those decisions, it's family, it's coaches, it's his family representatives, all that kind of stuff. But he's not going to make a bad decision. He's going to be successful either way.
Did I say Tyler Duke, by the way? Dylan Duke signing with
his
Tampa
brother
Bay,
will be back
of course.
next year.
Yes, he will be back next year. Lastly, Artem Levshunov finished first year with Michigan State. He is widely so he hasn't been drafted yet, right? Because he wasn't eligible.
This is the great thing about
he's
college
projected
hockey.
to be top 3 this year. So then there's a decision. You're top 3.
Right.
you're in that upper echelon of contracts where you can sign a legitimate money and financial deal. But clearly, at his age, there's development to be had.
Of course, and it depends on what team takes him. I also think defense take a longer time to develop. And for me, I think the smartest thing for him to do would be to come back. But if he goes, say it's the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that needs a lot of young talent, but they also might say, we're not in a hurry to bring you in because we're not looking to make the playoffs next year.
Right.
It's a tricky one. I think he should come back and play another year, but I mean, he was a first-team All-League. He was a freshman of the year. He was an All-American second team. He's done a lot of things, but he can build off of that. And he looked like he enjoyed his college experience, which is important, too.
You come back, you spend a couple extra years, maybe you turn into Brock
Faber. Playing for Adam Nightingale.
Played 25 minutes your rookie year, run the power play, Rookie of the Year contention with Connor Bedard.
Yep.
Decisions. For
No
Trent
bad ones.
and Paul, I'm Rick. Thanks for hanging with us on Big Ten Today.